All right. We're already busting it out.
Let's go. Off the dome.
Off the freaking dome. All right. Let me pop this open. Sponsored by Yeti. Just kidding, I wish.
Where's my Yeti? Driver League is sponsored by Brisk.
Little do they know.
Yeah. They might not know, but we do.
We know. All right, so welcome back to what we're going to call the Game Plan Podcast.
Shout out Mo
for giving us a name. Let us know what you think about it. Yeah, so week 2 now is coming up on us. We're already starting to plan out games. I got my game tonight.
Week 1's complete.
Week 1 is complete. We have 4 winners and 4 losers. Yeah,
that's how it works.
So that's how that works.
That's how that works.
So to start off today, let's recap our games from last week, mostly on Friday.
All right, so we start with the most anticipated game we had.
Most anticipated game, unfortunately,
didn't live up to the hype.
Not at all.
We thought it was going to be a lot better of a game between Cosme and Flanny, but Cosme's team ended up running away with it. End of the game score was 121 to, I believe, 100. Might have been 101. Might have entered that wrong. Flanny put up 70.
Flanny did put up 70. He did have a sub. Johnny P was not able to make it. What were your thoughts on that game?
My thoughts on that game is Mo hooped.
Mo came out of nowhere. Let's see. So Mo put up 51, 20, and 3 assists.
Gabe had a
50% shooting.
50% shooing. Gabe had a somewhat slow start. It wasn't even that slow. It's just we expect Cosme to produce more, but Mo kind of helped him take hold of things in the first half until he heated up. I think they both scored over 50.
Yep, 59 and 51. They combined for 110.
So that's already a great duo.
That's the best duo as of right now.
But I think that team, a lot of their success will come with Mo.
Yeah, I think it all just kind of depends on how he plays.
Yeah.
I think Tommy can put up solid. He's looking at triple digits, or not triple digits,
almost
triple
double, yeah.
8 assists. He was 2 assists short of a triple double.
Boy's got a sniper on him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a solid team. We'll talk about them later.
Mm-hmm.
Flanny's team wasn't necessarily disappointing. They put up the second most points that week, only to lose to the people that put up the first most points, but I think they're still a team to watch. Flanny's fun to watch. I think John and Jake will provide some great stats for them down the line, but I think they just had a tough matchup week 1. So
you want to talk about Mike Shannon's team next?
Mike Shannon versus Team
Sattan.
Shannon versus Team Sattan.
Sattan's team came out and had great defense, like we were going to talk about, like we talked about on the last podcast. We all knew that was going to come out and happen. They limited Mike Shannon to 29 points, which is about a quarter of what he was scoring last year sometimes.
Yeah, Mike shot well, though. From the field, he was 61%. He had a slow game. He picked it up in the third and fourth quarter,
I think he only had 5 points at halftime, but he did pick it up in the second half.
0 for 4 from 3, though, which is not necessarily
Mike Shannon-like.
Depends who you ask. If you ask Season 2 Mike Shannon,
it's Mike Shannon. We're talking last season Mike Shannon.
Last season Mike Shannon, not close at all. But I mean, 38% from the field as a team isn't.
Nick Cruiser had a double-double. 13 points, 14 rebounds.
I mean, you better have a double-double in this league. Pretty much.
Come on, Bodie didn't have a double-double.
That's a fair point. Alright, I take that back. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like 10 rebounds doesn't seem that hard to get if you try for rebounds. Bodie's not. He's not a rebounder.
What? Gabe Cosme had 35 rebounds or something like that himself. 36 himself.
73 as a team, but
dude had more rebounds himself than some teams probably did.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Right there.
Yeah, Team Sattan.
More rebounds than Team Sattan, Team Chung. I think that's it.
Yeah.
And close to
almost,
Team Flanny.
Yeah. So.
But
if you're facing Team Cosme, you got to box out.
Yeah. So yeah, Team Sattan smoked Team Shannon by 17.
Yeah.
27.
I think
17.
I think
94 to 77 was the final score.
I expect Mike Shannon and Bodie to pick it up a little bit. They'll definitely get a hold of things.
Yeah.
That isn't the team you'll see at the end of the season.
I agree with that. I think Team Sattan's team also could improve too, though.
We could really say that about every team. Honestly.
Every team has room to improve. It's just a matter of how much.
Everyone's putting it together still.
So then
it was me versus Howard.
Rob versus Howard. A game that came down the line.
That was a great game.
Won by 2, 92 to 94, I believe it was.
It was 90. Yeah, it was 92 to 94.
Ran out of game clock and was also running out of daylight.
Literally a 2-point game. I think the biggest lead was 7, but it was literally for like a minute. And it was a 2-point game.
Back and forth game the entire time.
It was probably
Yaney hit a 3 to put you up.
Yaney hit a 3.
Then Brian hit a 3. Then you hit a 3.
And then
Rob hit a 3.
In the matter of like a minute.
It was a crazy ending. We were all on the sidelines. We were all running around, jumping around. It was an awesome game.
Yeah,
it was an awesome game to watch.
It was one of my favorite games I've played in the driveway league.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it was fun to be there to see it too. But that was a great game. Shout out to the other team. Shout out to my teammates. I loved it.
So then our lock of the week did not go as planned. We had Chung versus Mudano. We ended up losing in the lowest scoring game of the week. I think if you, 74?
Yeah, definitely. 76-62 I think was the final score.
So, I mean, it was a slow game for us offensively. I know I now am on the bottom of the league shooting percentage-wise, but
hey, only way to go is up.
In theory.
Only way.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, that's the goal.
No, I mean, yeah, we'll definitely pick it up. I'm not really too worried about our team. I think it was the first game. That's really how I'd chalk it up.
I think both of your teams is gonna find their success on stopping other teams and slowing them down.
Yeah.
So I think that the bright side of things that you guys could look at is they only let 76 points on the board.
Yeah. I think
you say the same for Josh's team too.
Yeah. It was a defensive game. It was tiring. Mm-hmm. I was gassed.
Yeah.
But forget how much energy this takes.
Yeah.
So that was week 1 recaps. Mm-hmm. So now let's go into week 2. So for our games we have Chung versus Sattan that is playing tonight at 6:15 on Tuesday. You guys are going to see this probably Wednesday.
Yeah, so that game will already be over.
Team Shannon versus Team Cosme that's playing Thursday at 6:45. Howard versus Flanny, we're still working out, and Kaz versus Mudano, I believe, we're still working out.
Probably gonna be next week sometime.
Next week, probably Monday,
Tuesday. He said. I think he told me Tuesday-ish.
Okay, so yeah, week 2. Talk to me. What are you thinking?
We'll start off. We'll go right down the list. We'll start off your team, Team Chung, against Team Sattan.
Yep.
That's happening tonight.
Yep.
Obviously, Team Sattan. We saw the success that
top
they
2
had.
team in the league.
Top 2 team. Probably gonna stay top 2 all season if they keep playing like they did week 1.
Yeah.
Can we go back to the stats here for a second?
Yeah.
Where's Team Sattan?
Black.
All right, so we got Steve who put up 45. Kurt had a great week 1.
Yeah.
Kurt had a great week 1.
Surprising week. I didn't think. I mean, Kurt put up 24. Only 10 rebounds was a little surprising though.
Yeah.
2 blocks and 4 steals. Man is a hustler.
With Tassie putting up 25 and Steve putting up 45, I think that's a lot of. Those are 2 good offensive players. They're 2 very good two-way players.
Yep.
That you guys are going to have to try to contain tonight and keep low scoring.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how that'll match up for you guys, but you got any ideas on that?
On how we're going to match up?
Yeah.
I think it'll come down to our offense at the end of the day.
What do you think's going to happen here? Are you going to try to slow them down?
Game plan. You're talking game plan? Maybe I can't give that away. I can't let you know.
They won't see it,
but I mean, our game plan.
We'll stop that.
Yeah, can't give any insider issues here.
So, do we want to talk about who's winning, who's losing? Right now,
if I'm a betting man, no offense to my team, but I think if I'm a betting man, I have to take Team Sattan. They're a great team all around. Great defensively, can score. Right now, judging off of our last game, my team struggled scoring. Chung looked very good. He had very contested shots. He was shooting the ball well. He was driving well.
Chung played the whole game with one of the toughest defenders in the league on him, who led the league in steals last year, Josh.
Yep.
And I think Chung came out and had a pretty good game to start off the season.
Yeah. But I think me and Brett just got to kind of pick it up.
Yeah, that'll come over time. It comes with confidence.
Yeah.
You got a good team captain who's telling you to shoot all the time. Chung's not going to yell at you guys.
We're going to shoot it.
Oh, yeah.
No. All right, we got to speed this up. My battery's dying.
Oh, come on.
All right, so.
All All right, I'm taking teams to 10. I'm taking teams to 10.
We'll go until it dies, and then we'll charge it.
Next game. What do we got for next game?
Next game we got, I believe.
What do you want? Chrome. Next game,
Sattan. No,
Shannon
versus Cosme.
That's again an anticipated matchup between Mike Shannon and Gabe Cosme.
I think that's an easy one to pick.
I do. Based off first games, I think it'll be a pretty...
offense, Shannon. Cosme is a powerhouse.
I think it'll be a pretty convincing win for Team Cosme. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah.
I just think I think with Mo and Cosme, if they consistently put up 50, I think that's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah. I mean, another interesting to talk about, though, I remember talking about to you, Cosme's team put up how many shots? 119 shots in their first game. That is insane compared to, you look at somebody like Mudano's team, had 40 field goals attempted.
Cosme's team almost tripled that.
Yeah.
They have 119.
One less shot.
Yeah, so they basically tripled
So
that.
you can look at the two different paces that a lot of these teams are playing at. 100 shots, 97. There's a lot in the 90s, some in the hundreds.
What do you guys shoot?
59. Keep in mind, they also called a lot of fouls, so that didn't kind of set those back a little bit. But 59 shots a game. Gabe's team gets their shots up, and that's why Gabe also has so many rebounds.
And that's why they scored the most. They shot the most by a good amount.
Yeah.
More shots.
More shots equals more scoring.
Hopefully more scoring.
In theory. So, yeah, that's how I think that game's going to go down, too.
So I think we both agreed on what's going to happen, I feel like, for the first two.
Game 3.
Good.
Okay, go!
Alright, so, as we were saying, Team Howard versus Team Flanny. If Rob's leaving Friday, so if they are able to play Thursday against Team Flanny, I think we'll see Team Howard get their first one of the season. I think they're due for one.
I agree.
Other than, you got anything to say about that game?
I think it'll just be interesting to see how, I think Flanny's going to be on Rob.
Yeah.
Now you got to look at who's going to guard Brian. Probably
their
Jake.
Team is,
I'd put Jake on.
I think Jake's going to guard. Because like I said, when it was you, me, and Jake last year, we normally put Jake on. I think we did match up Jake with Brian.
Probably, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I think Jake is a very capable defender. He's got long arms. He's able to reach around.
Athletic.
He's able to bug people, basically.
Yeah. So I think that'll be a matchup to watch is Jake versus Brian. I think
that is the capability of being a good game, though. Depending on how Flanny's team produces offensively. Yeah. Because
it's really just Flanny.
What Flanny have for scoring wise last game, though?
70.
Oh.
How's their scoring leader right there?
They had 70 total? Or
no, he had 70.
No, what did they have total?
100.
Rob's team had 92 against my team. So we could see a decent... I hope to see a close game.
Yeah. The thing is, it's tough to bet against Flanny.
Yeah.
Because he could go off for over 100 at any point.
League MVP and champion last year.
Yeah.
Can't count him out.
Yeah. So I'd say Howard. I could also understand if Flanny won. And now Kaz, this is an interesting one in my opinion. Kaz versus Mudano. Plead your case.
I think that obviously it's going to be me and Mudano. We've always butt heads throughout the whole history of the league.
Yeah.
He's always a fun guy to play. I enjoy playing against him. It's always a battle, like I said. But at the end of the day, if we're able to score and put up shots against his team who likes to slow down the pace, I obviously could see myself winning. But yet again, when you think of his team, they got a lot more size than us. So that, yet once again, could slow us down offensively. Like, we got Jack Jamrog in the paint, who had a very good, solid week 1.
Yeah. He came out of nowhere, kind of.
He surprised a lot of people.
Didn't really have a lot of expectations.
He proved himself. But Tyler, who's known as a great defender and rebounder, that team's got a lot of length defensively, so that'll be a challenge for us. So I could honestly see that being a close game, too. It'll really come down to who's making the tougher shots.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think that'll be a good game. I hope it is.
For record-wise, who are you taking?
For record-wise?
Yeah, because I think we both went 1-3 last week.
Yeah. I'm gonna take my team. I got confidence in my team. I know Mudano loves being the underdog, like we said week 1, but I gotta take my team for that game. We got a solid game against two debatably top defenders in the league. Brian when he's trying. Shout out Brian.
gotta give him a little push to try a little bit harder, maybe.
But yeah.
So I'm gonna take Mudano, and I'm gonna explain why. I think that Kaz, your matchup versus Josh is gonna be one to watch.
Mm-hmm. It always is.
It always is. Josh is a great defender. But I think that will then come down to who they put on Yaney. And I think it's
Tyler
not going to be Jack.
I think
I
Tyler
can say that much.
Tyler's going to be on Yaney.
Tyler's a lot longer of a defender than Bugley is. And I think he'll slow down Yaney more, so you will have to then rely on yourself more for offense.
Mm-hmm. Which I believe I could do. I only had 35 week 1.
Yeah.
Yet again,
Two tough defenders, though.
Yeah,
Rob's a tough defender. Josh is also a very tough defender.
Like I
Two
said,
different kind of defender types, though, I would say.
Rob, in my opinion, is probably the hardest person I've had guard me.
Okay.
I just think Rob's always a pest when he plays me. He's always right up in my face. He's always fighting over screens. It's always hard to get by him.
So, I mean, yeah. So that's kind of why I'm going to choose Mudano on that one.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it'll definitely be one to watch. Game of the week and lock of the week.
Lock of the week, I'm taking Team Sattan over Team Chung. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, Joe. But I mean,
that's fair.
I think it'll be a pretty convincing win.
I'm going to go Cosme over Shannon for my lock. I think that's just I think Cosme is going to be a lot of locks this year, I think.
I think game of the week could be either Howard versus Flanny or me versus Mudano. Just because I feel like those have potential to be the closer games.
In my opinion, I think I'm going to go Kaz Mudano. I think Howard and Flanny can be a very good... that's tough.
I think my game versus Mudano is going to depend a lot on our other options besides just me and Mudano. Like, I think it's going to depend on how Jack and Tyler play versus how Yaney and Novak play.
Yeah.
Because we both, I feel like... I think we're both capable of doing pretty similar stuff, I feel like.
Yeah.
Obviously, he gets a lot more steals than I probably do, but...
Yeah. But, I don't know. I mean, that's tough. Because I do want to see how you match up against Josh.
Yeah.
But I also do want to see how Rob matches up against Flanny. So I might go game of the week Howard Flanny.
Mm-hmm. That would be my other option, like I said, but I'd go... me versus Mudano, just because that is going to depend a lot on how whole teams play versus individuals.
Yeah.
We're going to start talking about some power rankings here.
Go ahead.
If Joe could log on his computer.
Give me a second. A little slow. Alright. So I have written down my power rankings, unless I talked about mine last week, so maybe you go and I'll rank yours.
Okay. I don't have them written down, so I'll just kind of go off the dome here. I just need to see the teams here.
There you go.
Alright, this is going to be straight off the dome. So, do we want to base this kind of off last week as a factor, but we still got to look kind of in the future as where we see teams going kind of thing.
How I would say is, strength of teams.
Okay. So, number one, I think we can both agree on is Cosme.
Yes.
I think that Cosme and Sattan are two very good teams. But I'd give Cosme the edge after week 1.
Yep, I agree with that.
With that being, you want to say something? Were you about to say something?
No, I think they're similar teams, but I think Cosme is better offensively, and that's why, I mean, obviously defense is a great factor for Team Sattan, but I don't think they're going to slow down Cosme's team to the point where they'd be able to outscore them.
Alright, so obviously in a close second, that means Team Sattan.
Yep.
I think those teams, I think we can see them flip-flopping throughout the season, but I think both of those will relatively stay top 2. I could see the whole season.
Yeah.
Maybe, with the next pick, I'm going to go Team Howard. I could see them, if they start getting on their roll, move up into the top 2, possibly over one of those two teams.
Mm-hmm.
But even though Rob Howard lost, even though Team Howard lost, I think that they're still a very strong team.
Yeah. And
that they just might have had a little less game than they might have expected to have.
Mm.
But overall, I think like we mentioned that first week of the podcast, those middle teams are really up in the air.
Yep. To touch on Howard, I was talking to Dylan about this before. I think Howard's team is going to be one to watch, although they lost their first game.
Mm-hmm.
I think they are still a very strong team. It's just a matter of if Brian and Rob, who may not be around much this summer, which we'll talk about in a second, if they can pull it together both offensively and defensively. And then if they can, as of how it looked week 1, you're only as strong as your weakest link. And that was where your team really took advantage of, was the matchup versus
Yaney
versus Bugley. Yaney scored 47 on him.
Yaney had a very high percentage of his layups going.
Yeah, I think Team Howard is going to be, can Bugley defend their third option or sometimes their second option like your team was. But I think they're definitely a team to watch.
And also to mention about Team Howard, with Rob leaving, we have Kahim coming in to play for
Kahim would
Rob.
most likely come in for Rob. He played in season
He played
3?
with Ja Cruiser, I think last
season
year.
3
or two,
and last year.
Last year,
3 and 4.
Yeah, last year, Ja Cruiser and Kahim and Kahim were on a team.
Yeah.
So we've seen him in the league before.
We've seen him. He's a strong rebounder. Not too much of a shooter. Good defender.
That'll be
very solid in the paint. That'll be a good addition.
He is a paint presence.
I don't know if he's necessarily
You're
Rob.
going to lose shooting with that, but gain interior force with that. So it'll be interesting to see where they rank on the next power rankings going forward.
Yeah.
But other than that, I was tempted to put myself in for ahead of Team Howard, but I do think they're still a very strong team, and it was a 2-point game the whole time. So who knows? You miss one more shot, they make one more shot, completely different game.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's a close 4. I would say like 3.5 kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like you don't deserve a 4 spot. But
I think my team and Team Howard, back and forth, we'll call it an even 3-4. 5th. What teams we got left here? We got Mudano,
Flanny, Mudano, Chung,
you, and Shannon. Honestly, I'm gonna take away your guys' 5 spot, and I'm gonna give it to. For some reason, I'm liking Team Flanny. I feel like he can do what he needs to do to carry that team. I feel like he's very capable of keeping up that scoring 70 every game.
Yeah.
And I think that once they have Johnny, that'll be a great help on defense too. Other than that, I think that would be my 5.
I agree with that 5 pick. I think Flanny, like you said, can keep up scoring 70 at least a game. They'll string stuff together down the line. They'll be a strong 5 team if they're still at 5. 6.
6, I'm tempted to move Mudano up, but I'm fighting that with Team Shannon at 6. Because I know what Team Shannon is capable of. The thing for me is Team Shannon has more offense than Team Mudano, I believe. Do you agree with that?
Depends.
Because I think if we're talking about once Mike and Bodie hit their stride, I think they're one of the 2 best scoring duos in the league, I'd say. If they start scoring like we saw them last season.
Yeah.
But like I said, Mudano's team I could see as being better defensively than Team Shannon.
Yeah. After last week, I'm going to jump in with mine. I put Team Mudano at 6.
I'll agree with.
They're a strong defensive team.
I could agree with that.
They have offense. They have more offense than you think. I think Jack could have scored a lot more than he did. He didn't score, I don't think, in the second half. It might have been like 2 points or something.
Yeah. I'll agree. We'll go Mudano at number 6.
Yep.
He'll like that. He's moving up slowly.
He's moving up. Creeping up 2 spots
every week, Mudano. But I know Team Shannon, especially Bodie, is gonna be happy about that one.
Yeah.
But I mean, you guys had a little bit rough offensive game, so that's the reasoning behind it. It was kind of hard to put you over a team like Mudano, who had a solid game.
Yeah.
But I think that leads on to number 7, and I am going to put Team Shannon there. Because, like I said, talking about that last ranking, they do have a lot of scoring if they get connected and get going.
Yep.
Cruiser. I don't know what to say about Cruiser, but the scoring's got to come from Bodie and Mike. Yeah. I think they'll both step it up in the following weeks. I think we'll see their stats rise consistently.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, I think your team is the big question heading into these next couple games.
Yeah.
I think your team. The only reason I have your team at 8 is because of the 62 points scored.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if you guys are able to score more into the 80, mid-90s range, I think that's when you'll see yourself start to rise up.
Yeah.
Once you and Brett start taking more shots, once you guys start getting that chemistry flowing more, shots are going in.
Mm-hmm.
I think that for you guys, it was just an adjustment week.
Yeah, I had the same exact 1 through 8 as you just mentioned. It was tough putting my team at 8, but after last week, we struggled offensively. We were solid defense. I know there's a couple plays where I was just asleep on defense.
I think
we were rotating late.
You mentioned that earlier. You and Mudano did have good defense.
I mean, it's just it sucks to put your own team last, but in this type of standings where there is a lot of very close teams, 8 doesn't necessarily mean 8. I still think that my team can possibly compete with, I don't know about Cosme's team because they score so much, but there's I still am confident in my team, and it's the same thing when like I said, 3 isn't necessarily 3 versus 4. It's kind of like 3 versus 3.5.
I could see Howard and I go either way.
So stuff like that, with how I would round out the power rankings. I agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be interesting to see how things may change in the future, though.
Yeah,
so we'll see.
Like we said,
certain things to watch.
Team Howard.
Howard and Kaz. I think can Shannon turn it up offensively?
I think Shannon will.
Can Chung's team turn it up offensively? Can Cosme keep it up offensively? There's a bunch of different questions after week 1 that you can kind of take away. But I think it'll be a fun future. There's a lot of basketball left.
Mm-hmm. Like I mentioned for Team Shannon in the last podcast that I think I said that they could fall into the top 3 eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I still believe that if they hit their stride, which I think they will, I think they could fall into that top 4-3 spot. I think those first 2 teams between Cosme and Sattan are very solid.
I'd be surprised if they dropped anywhere below 3 or 4.
I wouldn't be surprised if, I'll say it right now, I think Cosme might stay at 1 all season.
I could honestly see that.
But other than that, we did agree on everything, I think.
Yeah. So I think that is going to be it for week 2 of our podcast here. Unless you got anything else to say.
That's it. I think we're good here. Hope you guys enjoyed.
As always,
let us know what you need for next week.
Comments down below. Yeah, exactly. Suggestions that you want to see next week.
Questions. Anything we talked about, let us know. We're always looking for new ideas.
Yeah.
If you guys want to see people call in here, if you want to FaceTime people.
Yeah, guests will be an issue just because I don't know if people really should be coming in my house.
Yeah, but I think Gabe did mention that it'd be cool if we called someone up on the phone or something. That'd be cool. But other than that, I think we're good.
Yeah, so week 2, signing off.
Signing off, people. Peace. Let's go.
Through the wastelands, through the highways, and